out of the gates with a stunner. Last night, word broke of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson signing with the Detroit Lions. It's a one-year deal worth up to $8 million, far from the huge contract we expected. A report by our John Clark said the Eagles made a multi-year offer initially in free agency to CJGJ for more money than the Detroit deal. But Gardner-Johnson turned down the Eagles' offer. So, Gardner-Johnson's agent went on the offensive and tweeted that the deal the Eagles offered was a 3-year, $24 million deal, but $17 million of the money was in the last year. The insinuation being that he never received the $17 million in year 3. And look how they ended the tweet. Mic drop. A separate report from the NFL Network says the Eagles were given the opportunity to match the Lions' offer, but declined. Woo! Welcome to Birds Huddle, powered by PointsBet. Barrett Brooks, Michael Barkann. How did this happen? Barrett, how did we get to this point with a guy we thought the Eagles could not do without?
Well, I think he outkicked his coverage. He thought that the safety market was going to be huge. He was going to get big money. Well, evidently the market has changed. He didn't get the big money he thought he was going to get. So number one, I just want to know, what the heck was that agency thinking about saying mic drop? Does he not know that Howie takes stuff like that personal? Does he understand that he will never be able to negotiate with the Eagles again as long as Howie's there? Because Howie politely picked that mic up, and he's going to remember that mic. He's not going to let that just pass. That's career suicide as far as negotiated contracts with the Eagles when you do stupid stuff like that. In fact, Chauncey CJGJ should fire his agency for that because you kind of messed things up. What if he wanted to come back here? You know what I'm saying? What if things don't go as he planned and he said, all right, I want to go back with the old band again? He kind of burnt that bridge, man. You don't do that stuff. Have some common, sense when it comes to negotiating for guys. You don't do that. I mean, that's what Chauncey might have done, but that's not what his agency should do. So mic drop, and Howie picked it up and said, I'll remember this.
Yeah.
I'll take this. I'll put this back. We know Howie takes things very personally.
You know what they say in the NFL, don't mess with the Howie. Don't do it. Did not take long for Gardner-Johnson to get introduced in Detroit. Today, at his media availability, he downplayed any hard feelings.
I'm not disappointed. Went to Super Bowl. Obviously we didn't win it, but the experience I had, I don't have no bad blood. People overreacted with a tweet in free agency, but it was never disrespectful towards organization. Organization treats me like family. It's just, you gotta do what's best for your family. That's all it is.
Barrett said, outkicked his coverage. And that brings us to Barrett's three-point stance. Number one, the Eagles will miss Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
There's no question about that. Just the way he played, he is a great athlete at the safety position. He just learned how to play that position. What if he, had another year to work underneath the system where he is the safety? He hasn't been there long enough to really get all of the idiosyncrasies of being a safety. His run fits, understanding how to play balls in the air and things of that nature, and being a safety. His ceiling's only going to go up. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is going to be a very good safety, but he still has some learning to do. So he's going to be really good, as he gets accustomed to being a safety. But at the end of the day, can we really trust Reed Blankenship being a starter? Kayvon Wallace is a starter right now. Those are our two safeties. Now, we understand, what's going on. They're going to probably bring somebody in. But, there's our safety right there. There's our starter right there, Reed Blankenship.
Like it.
Is he ready to play? I would think he is. Did he get some experience last year? Yeah, he got a lot of experience. But is he a starter in the NFL? That's what I want to know. He has some superior talent around him. And this year he'll have the same superior talent around him at the cornerback position. See, those guys out there can make you look real good, because they are pretty good. The three of them, Avonte Maddox, Bradbury, and Slay are really good cornerbacks. But now what if he's in that center field and he has to make sure he plays from sideline to sideline? They cover three. Cover three, he has that entire backfield by himself. So we'll see if he's ready to play. But we got to look at who else is there. Kayvon Wallace. Can he play that opposite safety? Right now, I'm thinking that they're going to move Avonte Maddox to the safety position and see who's going to play the slot position. But at this point, Those are our starting safeties. So did we upgrade the safety position in free agency? No, we didn't. Do we have a lot of learning to do in the secondary? Yes, we do. Is it solidified right now? No, it's not. So there's going to be some. We definitely did not. We did not get better at the safety position. Would CJ be a better fit? Yes, he would.
Mm-hmm. You know what the rallying cry will be next year? I can see it. It's going to be blankety blank. We'll put you in the tank.
Oh, there you go.
I'll tell you what. All right, take it easy. It's March. Number 2 stance for Double B. Isaac Seumalo won't be easily replaced. All indications are that Cam Jurgens will get the first crack at that right guard spot.
Well, you look at it. Seumalo was a lot better than what people thought. When you don't hear a guard's name, that means he's doing pretty good. When you don't hear the offensive lineman's name, that means he's not, getting holding penalties. His name's not being called because he's playing consistent. Seumalo was a real good player, a damn good player. In fact, he was the guy that really set everything up as far as the snap count. You would see him in loud stadiums throw his hand in front of Kelsey, and Kelsey would snap the ball. When you have a veteran player like that, it's hard to just think that you're just going to let this guy go and not to think there's going to be any repercussions because of it. Yes, we have a young guy going in there, a pretty athletic guy, a guy that's pretty good, in Cam Jurgens. But is it already set in stone that he's going to be the guy? We have some guys that can play guard position. You got Jack Driscoll. He could play the guard position. In fact, I think he'd be better suited to play guard. You got Sewell Peta. He's been here a couple years, and he's played very, very good when he's been allowed to go in there and play at the guard position. We got Brett Toth. He's probably more of a tackle guy, but we know how it is to be at Stoutland University. They play guard and tackle when you're a tackle position. Everybody's versatile. But it's going to be hard to make sure that we, get a guy to go in and play at the level that we have with Isaac Seumalo. It's not something that, you can just go out there, all right, we just put, some fix-a-flat in there and that tire's going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? That tire has to roll a little bit, get seasoned a little bit, sort of ride steady through the rest of that car.
Yeah.
Cam Jurgens, he's not a guard. He's a center. So we'll see how this all adds up. But I'm hoping it adds up that he's going to be pretty good, but it's not set in stone. We're going to miss Isaac Seumalo,
who is on his way to Pittsburgh, courtesy of a 3-year deal with the Steelers. The Eagles must add another wide receiver because today the Arizona Cardinals signed Zach Pascal to a 2-year deal. Pascal was a Nick Sirianni favorite, but he joins Jonathan Gannon and Kaiser White in the desert. So stance number 3 is the Eagles will need another wide receiver.
Well, they need to be looking right now because, when you're given a role on a team, you got to fulfill that role or else they're going to get rid of you. And Quez Watkins at this point is a deep ball threat. He's the guy to take the top off the defense. Well, towards the end of the season, mid of season, he didn't do that. Dropped too many balls, had too many opportunities to be great, and fell short of being great. In fact, 2 interceptions in the Dallas game in which he could have easily been a target and catches the ball, but he doesn't, ends up being a pick. So you can't have those type of things happen. When you have one role on a team, you got to fulfill that role, and he did not fulfill that role. He dropped the pass in the Super Bowl. Now, we're not blaming that he lost the game or anything. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is if a ball touches your hands, it's got to be a catch when you're in the NFL. I don't care if it touched the fingertips. It's got to be a catch in the NFL. You get paid millions to do that, and he didn't do it. When I was a guard and I was backing up, if I didn't go out there and play a great play when I was in at the guard position or the tackle position, they would have got rid of me because that's what your sole job is, to be a backup and be the best player you in with it, so they don't miss a beat while you're out there. Well, they missed the beat when he was in the game. He wasn't fulfilling his obligation as that third receiver to take the top off. He should have been a threat and had big play potential. He didn't use that big play potential. So because of that, they've got to find somebody to come in there and fill that role. They're going to give him an opportunity. He's still under contract, but they're going to be looking for somebody to go in and fill that role for him because they need somebody that's consistent. Consistency is what they need to do. Consistent big play threat to take the top off. There's somebody out there, DJ Clark, Marvin Jones, maybe Brian Pingle, maybe Robbie Anderson from Temple. Maybe he can come, but you got to have a deep threat that can catch.
All right, we got more on the free agent losses for the Eagles, and word just in that they have added a safety. And there was a little tease in that. Word just in. You won't get it, but you will. Bird's Eye View is presented by Bush Auto Group. Moments ago, reports that the Eagles have signed free agent safety Justin Evans, formerly of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, spent last year with the Saints. Barrett, your initial thoughts. Just a depth signing?
Who? Oh,
Justin
okay.
Evans.
That's right, Justin Evans. Yeah, that's what he said, Justin.
Justin, thank you.
I'm going to say this. At this point, I don't know. I mean, he doesn't move the meter right now. But, I mean, who's to say that he's not a good player? I think he started 4 games last year. I need to do a little more research, see what he brings to the table, see if he's somebody who can come in and start. We don't know. I mean, this may be the system when he flourishes in. I remember him a little bit when he played with Tampa Bay, played a lot in Tampa Bay. Last year, he was with the Saints, and he was more of a guy that came in at depth purposes or if somebody got injured. He played a little bit then. But at this point, I can't say that I'm saying he's a bona fide starter. He's going to move into the starting role. We'll see. It's probably like a 1-year deal or something like that, see, if he fits in the system. But we'll see. I mean, how he's making moves, I don't know what this move is. We'll see.
I think we should be mindful of that, not just in March, not just in April, not just in May, we'll talk about that because Howie makes the moves whenever they're necessary because certainly there are holes in the Eagles roster as we sit here Monday, March 20th. But we remind you what some of the position groups looked like on this date 1 year ago. Their top 3 wide receivers 1 year ago today. Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, and Jalen Reagor.
Whoa.
Yes, that Jalen Reagor. The dude was still here.
Whoa, that's right.
Meanwhile, at cornerback, your starters on the outside. Darius Slay, and by default, 2021 4th-round pick, Zach McPherson.
Right.
And at safety, the Eagles had just signed Anthony Harris back to the team with Marcus Epps as the presumed starters. But plenty happened over the ensuing months. Draft night, they traded 1st and 3rd round picks to the Titans for Pro Bowl wideout A.J. Brown. Then they signed James Bradbury in May after he was released by the Giants as a salary cap casualty. And 1 week before the season, they traded for safety Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, sending a pair of day 3 picks to the Saints. So look at how much the roster changed in that time frame. 3 moves that really took it to another level, Double B.
No, you look at those moves right there. That went from being an average, middle of the road, probably a second best team in the division, to being a Super Bowl competing roster right now. So, I mean, major emphasis after the signing of the trade of bringing in A.J. Brown. It really took us to another level because then it told Howie, look, we can win and we can win big with the addition of A.J. Brown. Him being in this organization kind of amped up everything to win now mode. So, yes, there is some time left. I mean, we cannot say anything about how he brought in some moves, just like when he brought in the 2 defensive linemen, when we couldn't stop the run. He has facilitated moves that help us, along the way. So I can't see that this is going to be the same roster we see now later on, you know.
Remember, the most important position in any franchise, in any sport, not Jalen Hurts, it's not Nick Sirianni, it's not Fletcher Cox just re-signed, it's Howie Roseman. And you assess the talent, whether it's at the coaching position, whether it's at the quarterback position. Can you accurately and properly assess the talent?
I think he's learned more of communicating with the coaches and the team and seeing what exactly they need. He is facilitating moves, like everybody, we were like, what's going on with Jalen Hurts? Is Jalen Hurts a starter in the NFL? Can he run this offense? Can he read the defense? Is his arm strong enough? Can he do this? Can he do that? Well, he showed he can do it. And at this point last year, there were so many unknowns about who Jalen Hurts is and how good he's going to be. Now, the uncertainty is about him. Well, if he's going to get $48 to $50 million a year, that's what we're uncertain about right there because he's shown everything that he is, the future of this Eagles team. So we got a lot to, got a lot of research we got to do, and Howie understands he has a lot of, going on right now. But I got a little trust in him.
All right, Double B. Let's take a look at, and me too. Let's take a look at this year's projected starting defense as it stands right now, and there's certainly holes to fill. How do you feel overall about the group you're looking at right there?
Well, the biggest question I have right now is the linebacker position. Between Nakobe Dean being the Mike linebacker, and it could be Sean Bradley, it could be Ellis, it could be Davion. It's a lot of guys in that will linebacker position. I call them the jack linebacker position. If they're going to play a true 3-4 defense. Now, if you look at this defense right here, this is a 4-down defense, a 4-3 defense. But I can see them moving with the side saying he wants to run a 3-4, and that means 3 defensive linemen and 4 linebackers. Right now, we don't have enough to field 4 starting linebackers. So there's going to be some major moves that are going to have to be done in order to run a Desai-led defense. If we're running a 3-4, we need 4 linebackers. Do we have 4 linebackers? I mean, I totally trust Hassan Reddick being on one side, and on the other side, we'll have to see who it's going to be. Will it be Barkann playing outside linebacker? Whatever it is, we're going to have to see. Howie Roseman is going to have his work done at that linebacker position.